Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Thursday, the 5th of October 2023, and here I am on my usual spot doing a video for you guys. I think that my usual spot has been missing me, folks. I've been away on family holidays, and yeah, today I'm coming to downtown Sydney, to do a little bit of shopping for a few things, and I thought that I'd come past, and do a video for you guys. So yeah, we had a very pleasant family holiday. We went to the very edge of the Australian outback, and we visited many towns, many museums, and many attractions. We had a lot of fun. We drove long distances, and at times we were really tired, or kind of like wiped out, for driving for too long. But anyway, we had an absolute ball. And now I'm back, yeah, just kind of like having a mini holiday, and slowly getting back into gear now. So yeah, I just wanted to do a video for you guys, to catch up on the latest in the Geo-Political and how it ties into the prophetic. I guess most of you guys are now talking on YouTube about the Saudi and the Israeli Abraham Accord. Of course, America is trying to broker these, and I'm sure that all of you guys have watched Benjamin Netanyahu speech at the UN General Assembly. I thought that was a perfect speech from Netanyahu. He covered all the areas, and as Christians, we support the Jewish people. We all need to take our authority in Christ and pray that Israel gets this Abraham Accord with the Saudis. It's actually very important, for the stability of the region, if you like. If I know that Israel will get this Abraham Accord with the Saudis, it's going to stabilize, the Middle East, if you like. And everybody's going to prosper out of this, not just in terms of peace, but also from the economics that comes out of this as well. It's going to be prosperity for everyone, so it's a good thing, folks. So pray for the peace of Jerusalem, pray for Israel, that this will happen, and I'm pretty sure that God will allow this. Now the other point that Netanyahu touched on was on AI. Of course, a lot of people are worried about AI and its implications. It can be used both for good and evil, but Netanyahu made a very good point, saying that hey, it's here to stay. We're going to be one of a handful of nations leading the world in this technology, and that Netanyahu wants leaders of the world to be responsible, to have safeguards or safe rails regarding this technology, and to use it for good. So that was a very good point. And the other point, or the last but not least point, how Israel is worried about, Iran further advancing its nuclear program. So, we've made it quite clear that they're not going to tolerate Iran having, any kind of nuclear weapons. So, when you put this into the Bible, or through the lens of the Bible, big time news like this, we got to put it through the lens of the Bible, folks. And basically, if you read between the lines, we are very close now. Into Israel is going to take care of Iran's nuclear program. Bibi made it quite clear. And in the last few days, I've been watching a lot of news from Israel. And I heard a report coming from ILTV News, ILTV News from Israel on YouTube. And the reporter, the lady, she asked, a former army general from Israel, what do you think of, Iran, how close are we, things like that. And she even said that, there was a report coming out recently, or that has come out recently, or an intelligence report saying that Iran is within 2 weeks of having, probably having enough nuclear material, to turn it into some kind of weapons. So, when I read between the lines, I come to the conclusion that it's very close now, folks, very, very close. And of course, the Bible tells us that there is a prophecy regarding this, the Elam Balaam prophecy, found in Jeremiah 34 to 39. So, all prophecies in the Bible will come to pass. So, now, regarding how Israel is going to be signing this Abraham Accord with the Saudis, they're saying that they want an Abraham Accord within a few months from now. Now, the fact that they're saying that Iran is very close now, I'm thinking that, before they sign an Abraham Accord with the Saudis, that they're going to take care of Iran's nuclear, business, if you like, of facilities, fulfill the Ilan Balaam prophecy. This is my opinion, of course. And also at the same time, take care of Isaiah 17.1, because we know that, Iran keeps on smuggling weapons into Syria, okay? And then they get passed on, of course, to Hezbollah in southern Lebanon and things like that. So I'm thinking that Israel will probably end up doing Isaiah 17, the Elam Balaam prophecy, and also, making a clean slate of this great northern war that many people are talking about. In other words, just wiping out the threat once and for all of Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, Hamas, and all the Iranian proxies, and quite possibly the Houthis as well. So, in my view, I see Israel, sort of, getting rid of this whole problem all at once, having a clean slate, so to speak. And, in my view, then this is the provocation that will trigger the Ezekiel War of 38, 39, because not that Israel is provoking this, Israel is actually defending themselves, from this threat, from this constant threat, from Iranian furthering, advancing its nuclear program. They're not listening to anyone. Hezbollah and Hamas, causing trouble all the time, giving Israel headaches, and so, Israel is gonna, at some point in time, very soon, I think they're gonna have to just eliminate the whole threat and just have a clean slate, so to speak. And then once Israel cleans up, then, the Russians are gonna get angry, and they're gonna form this coalition with Turkey, with Iran, Syria, and so on, and they're gonna come down to the northern mountains of Israel. And this is going to fulfill the Ezekiel 38, 39 war. So, now after the Ezekiel 38, 39 war, then that's when the Antichrist is going to rock up in Israel, because that is the most perfect and prophetic time, because God is going to glorify and sanctify himself. And so after that, that's the perfect time for, Israel's Messiah. We know him as the IC or the Antichrist to, deceive Israel and say, "Hi, wasn't God Almighty great? Well, guess what? I'm your Messiah," And I think that this is probably the perfect prophetic time when, I see Israel signing an Abraham Accord with the Saudis. Perhaps, you probably have to throw in, of course, the Palestinians into the equation. I don't know if they're going to do an Abraham Accord with the Palestinians, but, I think that the Palestinians will need to be there in the equation of some kind of peace deal, of course. Also, you have to say Jordan, of course, Israel, and the Saudis, so I'm thinking that, they're going to sign that covenant with many. I did a video recently in which I told you guys that there is a difference between signing of the covenant and confirming of the covenant. They're both going to happen during the church age. The signing of the covenant has to happen at the end of the Ezekiel War so that Israel can get Temple Mount. We know that the Palestinians are already living in the West Bank, in the areas of Judea and Samaria, and they're living in those territories, like Territory A, B, and all that, so I think that this is going to make sense, since they are already there, that the Antichrist is probably gonna demand to, say to Israel, "Hey, since they are there, sign some kind of peace treaty with them, so that neither of you, can fight each other and things like that. And I'm not sure if it's gonna be a Palestinian state or not. But and we know that God gets very angry. So the deed to that land to Israel belongs to God and to the Jewish people. So, and we know that God gets very angry. But of course, we as Christians, we don't support that, but we know that Bible prophecy is going to happen, folks, but because don't forget that, the Antichrist is not exactly a saint, is he? No, he's the Antichrist, he's anti-God, so there has to be a covenant, folks, as much as we don't like Israel being divided, there's going to be some kind of covenant so that Israel can get Temple Mount to rebuild the third temple because, it has been prophesied, by Isaiah and Micah, that temple will be fully rebuilt and established before the rapture of the church. Now, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the rapture in a moment, but then, the signing of the covenant has to happen after the Ezekiel war, for the reasons that I just told you, so that Israel can get Temple Mount. And then confirming of the covenant is going to happen after Israel finishes rebuilding the third temple. And then, after the third temple, we're going to have the rapture of the church, because I told you time and again that in the book of Revelation, Revelation 11, okay, the angel quite clearly says to John, hey, John, go and measure the temple, okay? So, although the book of Revelation, it's all for what's going to happen during the trib, okay, nonetheless, the angel is telling John, hey, back in the church age not long ago, they finished rebuilding the third temple. Go and measure it, okay, because Moses and Elijah are going to be using that to prophesy for 1,260 days, so 3.5 years. So, and I just told you that Micah and Isaiah, okay, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2 and 3, and Micah chapter 4, verse 1 and 2, prophesy of the rebuilding of the third temple during the church age, in the later years, if you like. So we're going to have the rapture of the church until that temple is done. Now, once that temple is done, then we will have the rapture of the church because we are no longer needed, and because Moses and Elijah have the temple. Now, you will have to think by common sense that because Israel is going to be rebuilding that temple, for their Messiah, okay, because we know that the Antichrist is going to sit on that temple, claiming that he's God on the second half of the tribulation period, okay, the abomination of desolation. Then, by common sense, you will have to think that, hey, after the third temple, the Antichrist is going to be there at the inauguration of the third temple with the, Israeli authorities, rabbis and things like that. We will think, by common sense, we're talking about a prophetic building here, a temple, and if Israel's Messiah is going to be sitting on that, you would think that he's going to be coming out to say, hi, thank you, Israel, and that would be the perfect time for, the Antichrist to fulfill two prophecies, okay? The first one, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, that the Antichrist comes out, to reveal himself, and then fulfilling precisely and simultaneously at the same time 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, that when the man of sin talks about peace and safety, I got the covenant sign here, then bang, watch out the church, sudden destruction. So this is the plan that I think. Now, I'm not setting a date for the rapture of the church, but I'm going to tell you this. I know that the rapture of the church is after the rebuilding of the third temple. No doubt about it, because after that we are no longer needed. A lot of pastors, unfortunately, they don't understand the process of the rapture of the church, The rapture of the church is actually a prophetic process of end-time Bible prophecies, that will trigger it. I keep hearing pretty much on an everyday basis, Christian YouTubers, my brothers and sisters in Christ, pastors, and so on, saying that the rapture of the church is imminent and that nothing is needed, and that it can happen at any moment, Folks, with all your respect, that's almost blasphemy. And I don't use that word lightly. I say blasphemy because you're making God a liar, I mean, why did God send the prophets, Isaiah, Micah, to prophesy regarding Israel's third temple, you know? Don't forget, folks, that these prophets, they had to go through a lot of tribulation and personal sacrifice to prophesy all these things, and you're making God alive because what you're saying is to God is saying, oh, who cares about your prophecies? We don't care when they're going to come to pass. And they're going to come to pass during the church age. And you're saying, well, who cares? And, you're actually saying, God, you're a liar because we don't care about when they're going to come to pass. We say rapture of the church imminent and it can happen at any moment. You're blaspheming God, folks, without realizing it, okay? I know that you're not doing it deliberately, but you're making God a liar. And that's a blasphemy, folks. Because in your ignorance, you are blaspheming God, And I don't mean to put you down by saying this, but you guys are just ignorant about the rapture of the church. And unfortunately, the church in America, although they are right in many things in which they teach regarding theology, there are also many things in which the church in America is theologically wrong. And one of them being, of course, the rapture of the church. You will find, the growing majority, just about, I'm the only 1%, folks, like the 99% say that the rapture of the church is imminent. It can happen at any moment or at any time, and that nothing is needed, so help me God. That is a blasphemy, folks, like you're making God a liar, and you need to change that tune. The perfect storm for the rapture of the church was when we had the COVID-19. In 2021, practically everybody thought that the rapture of the church was going to happen, due to the lockdowns, the mandates, businesses going bankrupt, people losing their jobs and careers, homelessness, you name it, burger with a lot. And it didn't happen. If the rapture of the church was going to happen, it should have happened back in 2021, and it didn't. You know why? Because of the prophetic, folks, And I'm the first person in the world to decipher the rapture of the church. I'm not that I'm right in this, And, folks, I'm going to be getting the glory. I'm trying to share the glory with you guys, and I'm trying to give you glory here, folks. You have some, you have some, you have some. I'm trying to give glory to everyone to teach you how the rapture of the church is going to, be a prophetic process with the five. And that's so that you can teach others, but I'm going to have to come here on a regular basis and say, no, it's not imminent, and no, it cannot happen at any moment, because there are many pastors and Christians alike who have thousands and thousands of subscribers, like, 50,000, 80,000, 500,000 subscribers, and they tell the subscribers that nothing is needed for the rapture and that it can happen at any moment, and that's false. That's not true at all. It's because you are ignorant about the rapture of the church. Now, I say this in a polite way, not in a derogatory way, because not all of us know all the Bible, It's difficult to know all the Bible, and even myself, I don't know all the Bible, but, I'm constantly deciphering issues, all the time to help everybody, including the church. That's why I do my biblical decipherings, to help everybody. And I am not wrong, folks, about the rapture of the church. And if you guys keep saying, that the rapture of the church is imminent and it can happen at any moment, you are fooling around with a piece of people, and you are making me, Ming Navi, cancel culture, In America right now, folks, I'm cancel culture, regarding the rapture of the church, because, no one wants to say what I'm saying, Everyone is saying it's imminent, and that is wrong, folks. You're going to be proven wrong, You're going to be proven wrong, and I'm trying to give you glory here, but, the more you guys say that it's imminent, it can happen at any moment, the more glory I'm going to be getting, because then people are going to be pointing the finger at me. Hi, Scooter Adventures, Ming Navi. He kept saying all along that no, it's not imminent, and no, it cannot happen at any moment. There is a prophetic process that after Isaiah 17.1, after the Elam Bible prophecy, after the Ezekiel war, after the signing of the covenant, after the rebuilding of the third temple, and then confirming of the covenant, then bang, rapture of the church. Scooter Adventure, me, Ming Navi was right all along. So just in case there's any movie producer out there who's looking into making a movie about the rapture of the church, and that you're going to be using my intellectual property as me being the first decipherer of the rapture of the church amongst many, many other prophecies, you only got to look at my channel. Make sure that you keep Jajamín Navi here or Scooter Adventures at the end of the movie in your credits. We did a movie about the rapture, by using Scooter Adventures intellectual property in that he was the first person in the world to decipher the rapture of the church. So folks, movie producers, don't forget to, give me the credit for it, And so like I said, folks, I'm not here for my ego, but I'm going to be getting all the glory, and I'm trying to share it with you. I'm trying to give you, each one of you, hey, go and share it, because I don't have the numbers. I only got 600 subscribers or something like that, but you guys that have thousands and thousands, fortunately you are in ignorance about this, and like I just told you, you're not giving peace to people, because, when I read the comments that people leave behind after watching pastors and big time YouTubers, they said, oh, I want the rapture of the church, right now I'm fully stressed out. When is this thing gonna happen? The American church does not have an answer to the rapture. You guys don't have an answer, because you keep saying that it's imminent and that it can happen at any moment. But me, Jajamín Navi, has an answer after the third temple. After the third temple, I'm not setting a date, but I know that after the third temple, according to the book of Revelation 11, we're going to have the rapture of the church, because we are no longer needed, folks. That temple is already done for Moses and Elijah's, prophesying. So, folks, I'm gonna be getting all the glory, and then I'm gonna be giving all the glory back to God, because it was God who gave me the knowledge, to decipher the rapture and all these biblical decipherings that I'm doing, So, I'm working for God in doing all these decipherings, and this is my office, So, folks, I'm trying to share, my glory, but you guys are making me cancel culture. And it's gonna backfire on you guys. It's gonna backfire on you big time. And, we're gonna see Isaiah 17, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see it, although it doesn't say that we necessarily have to see it during the church age. But, the way things are going, with those countries bordering Israel, especially what's happening in Syria and so on, I have no doubt that we will see Isaiah 17.1 being fulfilled. Of course, also the Elam Bala prophecy, the Ezekiel war, of course, and we're gonna be here for these folks, Many of you say that, hey, as soon as we have Elam or whatever, or even prior, we won't be here. You will be here. And because God cannot glorify or magnify himself after the Ezekiel war, was at the same time allowing the Antichrist to rule for 7 years. How can God glorify and magnify himself whilst allowing the Antichrist? That's not how God works. It just doesn't make any sense, folks. And so we will see the Ezekiel war, mark my words, folks, and we will see, Israel rebuilding the third temple. It's been prophesied. So, I will be proving right in all of this. And this is not my opinion, folks. This is what the Bible teaches. The Bible teaches this, but you have to study it very, very closely to understand it. That's why, and this is not easy either, folks. Deciphering the rapture of the church wasn't easy. But, I urge pastors to look into it, very closely. And also just people in general, regular YouTubers, my brothers and sisters in Christ. You're going to be proven wrong, folks. You're going to be proven wrong. And we will see the five. The full five, you will see them. You will see the third temple being rebuilt. And after that, we'll have the rapture of the church. So, that's just how it is, folks, But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I just got a bit of paper here, so just bear with me for a sec. Let me see if I got. Oh yeah. Now, just regarding, in the case that Israel might have to give up a little bit of land, perhaps Judea and Samaria to the Palestinians, and of course, the deed of that land belongs to God and the Jewish people, And God gets very angry, folks, when anybody tries to intervene. I mean, look at all the judgments that America has had when many, American presidential administrations have tried to, intervene on this, Now, the thing is that, the Bible tells us that it's going to be a covenant, and as much as we Christians don't like it, then it's going to happen, Now, there are things that God will allow, okay? There are things that God will allow, but as much as they might be bad for a short period of time, okay, then it will actually be, they're gonna turn out to be good things in the long run, because once Israel signs a covenant, okay, and they get Temple Mount, and of course, I'm presuming the Palestinians will get Judea and Samaria because they are there already anyway. So it's probably going to be a smooth transition for the Antichrist to just say to Israel, just leave them there and sign some kind of peace deal with them. They don't have to own the land, but you can probably say, hey, you can stay here for the time being under some kind of deal, whatever they want to call it. And of course, once we have the rapture of the church, then at the end of the 7-year period, the good that will come out is that God is going to put the false prophet and the Antichrist into the lake of fire and brimstone, and he's going to burn, the devil, Satan, for 1,000 years in the abyss, in hell or in the bottomless pit, and that we're going to be living with Jesus, in peace for 1,000 years. And the good thing is that when we come back with Jesus for the millennial kingdom, Jesus is actually going to restore Israel into a much bigger country according to a promise he made to Abraham. When Jesus told Abraham, hey, I'm going to give you all these lands, okay? That's how Israel is going to be when we come back to rule with him, Israel is going to be way bigger than what it is right now. And the deed of that land is in the book of Genesis. So, Israel is going to be a big area. So that's the good news, folks, but, unfortunately, God has to allow some evil things to happen, but, for a short little while, but, the end result is that for the greater good down the track, Israel will be a much bigger nation, according to the promise made to Abraham, and we're going to live in peace for 1,000 years, and then we're going to inherit the new heaven and the new earth, folks, So, it is what it is at the end of the day, folks. God will allow certain things to happen, even though if they are bad, short-term pain, if you like, for long-term gain, in order that the Bible prophecy might be fulfilled, folks. That's the reality. And, regarding AI or artificial intelligence, I don't know if Jesus is going to allow that during the millennial kingdom, because Jesus is going to rule with a rod of iron, and he's not going to stand for any sin. So, I don't know that we're going to be using AI. And also, if you read Revelation 6, at the end of the Revelation 6, during the tribulation period, the world leaders are going to be saying to themselves, hiding in caves, rocks fall upon us, because who can stand the wrath of the Lamb? So we don't know how far this AI and all these other things that they are planning will get through during, the tribulation period. Of course, we're not going to be here to see that, but to some degree they will succeed, because of course the mark of the beast is going to be introduced according to Revelation 13, but can they get away with everything that they want? I don't know, folks. God is going to dish out, an amazing menu of 21 sets of punishments and 3 woes. So I don't know how far they're going to get with all of these, folks. But anyway, we won't be here, so we don't really care. All right, folks, thanks. Sorry for keeping this video long, half an hour, but It's been a while, folks, and I had to catch up with you with the latest in the Geo-Political. Yeah, I'll endeavor to do more videos for you guys now that I'm back in Sydney. And I'm gonna be catching up with you guys. All right, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.